What's up, everybody? This is Jake from the Tree of Woe Show, the internet's favorite wrestling duo that is in Utah. We'll stick with that. I am Jake, wearing a fitting shirt today, and Justin is in Detroit doing Detroit stuff. Whatever he's doing there, I fully endorse, because that's how we work. I do some crazy stuff, he does some crazy stuff. Whatever. Match starts off with some more crazy stuff. Alberto Del Rio coming out and basically abandoning the entire heel character, kind of. He comes out and he's like, I can't wrestle for you guys because John Cena's a bad guy and he beat me up after the match yesterday. Then it cuts to the promo, which reminds us all that Last Man Standing is the stipulation for the title match on Sunday. Because we've seen the match enough to where they need the stipulation on there, or because he doesn't lose Last Man Standing, or I'm not really sure. Hopefully I do something cool with this. Fingers crossed. Not holding my breath. And then Del Rio comes out, and because they're in Mexico, might as well have him talk like a face, which he did. He talked like a face, and he just captivated the crowd because he can actually speak Spanish. So he'd say stuff in English and then repeat it in Spanish, and the crowd would go nuts because they love Del Rio. As they should. And then he says, I'm not facing the Big Show tonight. And Teddy Long comes out and says, hold on, player. Boo, Teddy Long, make a tag match. And instead of making it a tag match like we were all expecting, he says, match is back on. Get ready, player. You've been investigated by the entire roster's doctors. I think he said investigated. I hope he said investigated. Because that's in my notes, and I laughed really hard. And then he leaves. Del Rio's just like, oh, come on, man. And then Mark Henry comes out, and instead of giving Mark Henry a full entrance to see if he has any heel heat, they have him come out while Del Rio's out there, and then they kind of cross paths on the way out. Should we think something of that? No, we should not. And next match was Mark Henry, who was already in the ring, versus Job Morrison. And Job starts off the match by getting dominated, making Mark Henry look great, and then gets momentum going. Yeah, he goes flash kick off the ropes. Whoa, spinning heel kick, knocks Mark Henry down. Whoa, Starship Pain. Whoa, is Jomo gonna pull the upset? No, one count, thrown off by Mark Henry, and I marked out. Because Mark Henry's supposed to be this dominant heel, and that's Starship Pain, which looks awesome. And that got a 1 count. Mark Henry, Starship Pain means nothing to me, man. As it should. So they move on from that. Mark Henry beats him up some more, and then hits the elevated World's Strongest Slam. Except for he didn't grab him sideways like he did on Raw. He grabbed him vertically as if I were to grab the YouTube Nation right here. Picks him up, catches him like this. World's Strongest Slam! Whoa! And then doesn't induct him into the Hall of Fame because they need John Morrison. I don't know. That would have been great because then you can do the whole angle of all the guys that Mark Henry's beat up are all in this match together at Elimination Chamber or Night of Champions and the Champions Scramble. And then you have Jomo in there to be the one guy who can actually do some agile stuff. You can throw Sheamus in there. You can try to get the belt to him then. I'm not really sure what they want to do with Sheamus, Mark Henry. I'll let them decide that. Keep my hands clean on that one. And then cuts backstage to Christian talking to Vicky Guerrero, asking Vicky how to say one more match in Spanish, which if you watched our Monday Raw review, we do. Do I remember it? No. It's like un mas something. I don't know how to say match. And then I'm going back to read my notes. Teddy Long comes out and says, one more match, player? You got it. Yeah, one more match with Sheamus. Let's look there with Justin talking as I nod, but whatever. So they announce the Sheamus and Christian thing, which has pretty much been hinted at the entire time. And then Vicky's like, hey, John John Laurinaitis is better than you because he made a tag match for Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger against Air Boom. And today goes, well, I'll make a match too. Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is pulling double time at pay-per-view now, and I will officially pick for the tag match. I will pick Air Boom to retain. This is not part of our prediction. This is part of our predictions, but not part of our prediction video, obviously. He will retain, and Air Boom will retain, and Bourne won't get a whole lot of action, I don't think. But Kofi will get some flashbacks in there, and then something crazy will happen if they want to continue it, or if they want to break off Dolph, which they should. If you're watching this WWE, break off Dolph Ziggler and put him by himself so he can get his own heel heat as opposed to get off my TV Vic Guerrero heat. And then we'll go from there. But that's just my opinion. And the next thing they show is a promo for the Sin Cara vs. Sin Cara mask versus mask match, which needs to happen now. I was kind of torn with them doing it now as opposed to Vengeance or later on, because it felt like this feud was just now getting its wheels. A lot of people on the internet community didn't like the whole Hell in a Cell match. I liked it. It was starting to get some wheels. It's somebody that Sin Cara can have a good program with and have some good matches with. Stay tuned if the match tonight was good. But what better place to have a mask versus mask match to get the whole this Miss Kogat, this Sin Cara, real Sin Cara guy is really awesome than in Mexico City. So that's why they go with it then, I guess. That's kind of a tangent story. But they kind of talk about the history without giving a whole lot into the history. I don't know. It's just, I don't know how much they can say and can't say about the history, but I wish they'd go more into it. Because if it's something you look into, it's pretty deep. They've gone, this isn't the first time or even the second time. No, Astro Boy was the first time or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty cool side story. If you have time, look it up. Find it on Bleacher Report, because everything we have Bleacher Report is totally true. Shout out to Bleacher Report for being a horrible website. Boom! Shots fired. Jabs. I am Triple H. I will bury Bleacher Report for the Trio of Woe show. Jabs. And the next match was Wade Barrett versus Daniel Bryan, in which Wade Barrett cuts a backstage. I don't know. It's not. He cuts a promo backstage. It wasn't an interview or anything where he says he's his own guy now, and this whole. He says some crazy catchphrase of like, "This is the age of Barrett" or something. I'm just happy they're both on TV. Daniel Bryan says he's not going to cut his beard until WrestleMania, and I am not with him on that one because this is really annoying. I'm probably going to cut it after this review. But this match was quite outstanding, if I can say so myself. I really enjoyed both these wrestlers, and they went back and forth quite well. A lot of spots from both ends, a lot of technical stuff, a lot of kicks from Wade Barrett, and a lot of great selling on both ends. And the way it ends is great because if they want to continue doing stuff with this, they can. If not, it's up to them. This is something they can build on this. They're building this whole. If they're building up Wade Barrett to do something awesome, hopefully, I don't even know what it is, because you have two heel champions already, so he's not going up to there. Maybe him versus Sin Cara. How the match ends, though, is Daniel Bryan goes to the top rope to do something. I don't know. He's done 2 drop kicks off there, so maybe a third one. He jumps, gets caught in wastelands. Boom! 1, 2, 3. Wastelands for the win. Pretty awesome match. I think it got 2 segments, which is pretty long for a mid-card match. And then it was very solid. Showcased both wrestlers very well. And hopefully there's something. Hopefully I don't throw anything at Vengeance in this pay-per-view like they did at SummerSlam. But hopefully that's a feud later on. Maybe that's for the briefcase or something. I don't know. They don't just run matches out there just for fun, I don't think. So maybe they've been testing this out at SummerSlam and here just to see if it will have traction and can be a marquee match later on. Because if that was the main event, I wouldn't be mad about it. If that match right there was the main event of SmackDown, or that quality of match, nobody would really complain. The next match was Sheamus and Zack Ryder versus Dolph and Christian in a tag match for the 1 hour main event. All around. So there's a tag match because it's SmackDown. And then ends via Sheamus Brogue Kick on Ziggler. And then basically they are burying Dolph. I don't know. They're not burying Dolph, but they're making. I don't really agree with the Sheamus push. I think they're doing it too fast, too not organic. All of a sudden, this guy's supposed to be face, and some people are catching on. I'm not one of them. Hopefully they use his push and they bring it up to Mark Henry before WrestleMania, and Mark Henry beats him clean, and then it's just Mark Henry's that big of a monster, and then it builds up to something else, where whoever ends up getting put over by Mark Henry gets a really solid push. Because if it were to happen now with somebody who's not as developed, I don't think it'd have as much momentum as if Sheamus was fodder, so to speak, for it. And then during the commercial, we found out after commercial break, Christian speared Sheamus again, in which Sheamus probably walked up and walked away, and it was on the ramp. One kind of pet peeve is the whole Christian spear not being too powerful, but once again, keep my hands clean, stay out of this one, I don't want any trouble. And then next segment, was Cody Rhodes talking about how awesome it was to bag Randy Orton, saying how it was exuberating and all these other big words, and he's just like, yeah, it just felt great to get that off my chest and do that. And he talked about legacy and all that, and how he's gonna beat up on Orton, and then he's like, he just lost to me. He lost his belt. His momentum's down. Mine's on the way up because I just beat up Jomo. He didn't say that, but might as well have. And then he says, hey, just come out here, Orton, blah, 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 blah. Come out here and face me like a man for this Sunday. And Orton comes out and says he's going to be more vicious, blah, blah, blah. And then attacks two bagmen that try to attack him on the way to go talk to Rhodes. And then Rhodes beats him up for a while on the outside, and then Randy Orton hits his big-time moves, the whole stomp on the steps on somebody's head, the DT through the ropes, the RKO and all that stuff on the bagman, while Cody Rhodes walks out like, whoa, which is very great. I'm cool with this as well. It seems like SmackDown finds a way to do one or two good things right with their feuds towards pay-per-views. And Mark Henry versus Randy Orton was great, and this one's great as well. Pet peeve is it's not on the line. IC title's not on the line from what's been going around. Maybe they'll add it on the line. Maybe it's for a better cause. I'm not sure, but if you want to value them more, have it be on the line and have one of your top guys against one of your future top guys in an IC title match. Just saying. And then Sin Cara versus Sin Cara in the mask versus mask match, where Sin Cara's pop might have been the loudest of the night. It might have been louder than Del Rio's original one. Probably, I'm willing to say it was louder than Orton's. It was louder than Sheamus's, for good reason. And hopefully this gets some momentum for him, getting traction, people watching SmackDown, and people that go to SmackDown events, because this match was great. You want to sit there and pull up the whole botch thing. There really wasn't a whole lot. If you want to nitpick it, yeah, the Hurricane Ranas were kind of delayed a little bit, but not as much as they've been before. And really, if you're going to nitpick that, you really probably should just take a step back and look at other people's matches. Because if you're going to call it Botchamania and call him Botch Cara, watch The Miz wrestle and see how many moves he does correctly. Easier moves, by the way. So you have one of these top wrestling talents, you're going to attack him like this. I'm not cool with it, and that's my opinion on it. Sorry for the tangent story. Let me go back to talking about this match. Very awesome. Very awesome. False finisher, I guess. Mystico hit the... I'll call him Mystico and Hunico because it's easier for me with that way. Mystico has the blue, Sin Cara black, Hunico. Hopefully you can catch on with that. Sin Cara blue, Mystico. I keep confusing myself. Hits a swanton off the top rope for a 2 count and other stuff like that. Hits a lot of stuff out of the ring. Hits a lot of those big time spots that you want to see in this match. Hunico gets a lot of backbreakers in, and looks like he's really targeting the back with camel clutches and stuff like that. which is very he's very underrated as the whole mental aspect. It makes it seem more believable. You know, it's not him doing the same move over and over again. It's different variations of the backbreaker and all that. And then, truth be told, La Mystica hit as well as I've seen it on YouTube with people who've done it for years, etc. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Crowd goes wild. Hunico won't remove his mask. He tries to leave. Sin Cara pulls him back in through the ropes and then pulls his mask off and then DDTs him and then dives through. And you can see full on Hunico's face, which kind of sucks for him that he gets. No one has really. I don't think he'd ever lost a mask versus mask match before in Mexico or in FCW. And then he gets up here to a big show and his mask is taken off. But what can you do? I kind of like the blow off happening now as opposed to a pay-per-view, because the whole atmosphere here was like a pay-per-view for this match, kind of for the Del Rio Big Show match, but they messed that one up. That one's coming up soon. But yeah, it was great atmosphere. It made you feel like this match meant something, which is something that SmackDown kind of lacks in sometimes. Some of the pay-per-views lack in sometimes. This match felt like it meant a whole lot to both these guys and to the whole people watching. Announcing crew was kind of lackluster, but they're actually better than they were for other matches tonight. Overall, if you're going to watch any match from tonight's SmackDown, I recommend this one. It was 3 segments long. It gave it quality length. They didn't rush anything. And then, speaking of rushing stuff, here comes another Brodus Clay promo, which I'm not really rushing it. I don't know why I said that, but hopefully he catches on. Hopefully it's not just like vicious. I don't know if they're making him a heel or a face. Like, is he going to be a mean? Is he going to be like a Batista type face, or is he going to be a Mark Henry type heel, or is he going to Raw or SmackDown, or what are they doing with that? I'm not sure. Hopefully they know. Hopefully they're not just throwing it out there with all these things like he's the next big thing, when really they have Mason Ryan already, and Mason Ryan can do the whole Batista type dominant face. Crowd loves me because I'm just crazy, and Mark Henry can call the dominant heel better than Brodus Clay. But throw him out there, let him see if he can get some traction. Hopefully he can. He looks like King Hippo from Mike Tyson's Punch Out. For all people that play Mike Tyson's Punch Out, all you gotta know is punch the stomach, uppercut, 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 and select button. Boom! Yep. That's all you need to know. And then sorry. I keep saying next match because I'm just so used to segueing like that. The next promo was Beth Phoenix and Natalya cutting a heel promo in Mexico. Luckily, the pizza I was cooking in the oven had just finished, so I was eating that, kind of going in and out. And then they talked about how the inverted sharpshooter Natalya is doing is called Pin Up Strong. Cool with that. And they said that they're trying to get this whole heat, like, it's your guys' fault that the Divas are out here because you endorse them and you book the matches. Or they didn't say that second part, but that just shows the fallacy of their argument. And no one in Mexico could understand nor care, I don't think. I don't know. I think I'm giving the Mexican crowd too little credit for speaking English. So they watch wrestling, they probably speak a little bit of English, But I don't think they cared all that much. And then Eve came out and then talked about how they're beautiful on the outside but not on the inside, or I don't know. It went over my head, whatever she was trying to do, and then she attacked Beth Phoenix because that makes sense. I don't know. Really, after the Sin Cara match, Brodus Clay promo for the 2nd time this week, it's the 6th time this month. Not interested. Not interested in this whole Divas match thing. At least it's not Beth Phoenix. Hopefully they don't just give it up to Eve and say, here, you go with it, and let's see if we can get a lot of people to like the Divas vision now, or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but as long as they... you got to give respect to Beth Phoenix and Natalya, because they went out there and they tried to get some real heel heat. I feel like if they were in a place that cared more about it, they would have got more, because they were just like, it's your guys' fault. You guys are the ones that keep supporting these girls when there's real talent that goes unnoticed. Blah, blah, blah. We're beautiful on the outside and we can kick your ass, etc. That was the whole synopsis. Overall, hopefully they have Beth Phoenix retain that vengeance or something. I don't know. I don't really care what they do, to be honest, and that's the worst part for them is nobody cares either way, and no one's going to care if they continue to do the same thing. They're really in a vicious cycle where they can't have it flip over too much, else people are going to care less, but they can't just keep rolling out these Eve Torres's and Kelly Kelly's and Beth Phoenix's to do the whole, well, you're ugly on the inside and you're a bully, etc. stuff. So they're in a catch-22. Hopefully they figure it out. Give the belt to Maurice. Let's do that. She's hot. And that's my logic. I'm sticking to it. Final match tonight was Big Show versus Del Rio in a match where they shouldn't have done this. This was a horrible, horrible, horrible idea. Because you have Big Show who's coming off his injury and they're trying to make him look like somebody who can beat Mark Henry. Which they'll probably haven't beat Mark Henry, let's be honest. They don't like to push Mark Henry for too long or push anybody for too long because if faces don't have the belts, they get nervous. So they're going to have this whole, they have this Big Show versus Del Rio, who Del Rio probably should be in a match with somebody who can actually wrestle with or somebody who can generate some heat as a heel, I guess. I guess to play it perfectly for heel versus heel to work out. But regardless, they did this. It wasn't very good. Cross arm breaker, except it wasn't the same way it normally was, I guess, because Big Show was able to pick him up with it and then slam him down, or I don't know. Yeah, and then Ricardo got involved. And there was a DQ, and then Big Show threw a punch, knocked out Del Rio, knocked out Ricardo, and then Mark Henry comes out and he knocks out Mark Henry. Of course. Well, hopefully they know what they're doing with this. Hopefully what they're doing is not giving the belt to Big Show because that would not go over well, in my opinion. This match really was the wet blanket of the entire card, really, because every other match tonight did its purpose. This purpose it did on this one. Maybe I'm too short-sighted to see what the difference was, or maybe I'm missing the big picture here, but regardless, didn't do a whole lot. But overall, like, up until the Brodus Clay thing, that's probably one of the best Smackdowns I've seen this entire year. It's just had a whole bunch going on, good storylines, good stuff continuing, and a lot of stuff to make you think, and a lot of stuff that was just exciting both ways. Let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe's right here. Follow the light because there's a little beam of light towards the subscribe button. Totally by design. And then comment down there. Please comment. Just makes it better for me. And then subscribe. Obviously subscribe. And we have a Q&A video. If you're still watching this, we have a Q&A video. Send in your questions and we will answer them. Hopefully in a less than 23-minute video because I kind of got carried away today. Alright, well, from Justin and Jake, signing off of the Tree of Woe show. Tree of Woe, where taglines don't exist yet. Stop.